What's up guys, in today's video we're going to get started with the Vim text editor. Now basically Vim is a terminal text editor, although if you want a graphical version of Vim, there's something called gvim, which is kind of like a separate version of Vim. It's just a graphical version. But usually people you're probably just going to see people use the terminal version, so we're just going to use that. Alright, so basically to launch Vim, to launch the terminal version of Vim, you're just going to open up a terminal and just type in Vim as you expect. Alright, and this is kind of, like the Vim default screen. Now, it's not going to look exactly like this by default, because you can see I actually added line numbers and this bar at the bottom. Basically, the way you would do that is you would actually add this to your Vim configuration file, which Vim will look at and run. That's really going to be a topic for a different video, though. Alright, so basically right now you're in command mode. So now to be able to start entering text, you need to get into insert mode, which you do by typing I. And now you're in insert mode, you can type in any, you can just type in whatever. Alright. Okay, and now let's say, so let's say, you're done typing your text and you want to save this to a file. Alright, so first of all, what you need to do is, you need to get back into command mode. So you need to type escape. Okay, now you're back in command mode. Now what you need to do is you need to type colon, and now so there's a colon at the bottom of the screen, and your cursor is also placed there. So now you type W space. So basically W stands for write, and now so basically this means we want to write this to a file. So what do we want to write this to? Let's say we want to write to new.txt. Okay, and now it says it's been written. So now essentially to escape, so now we've written that to a file. So now what we can do to get out of Vim is we type colon. And again, so it has to be in command mode, so colon Q. Alright, let's do an ls, and you can see a new file has been created for us called new.txt. So let's go ahead and edit that in Vim. Now, by the way, in case you're wondering, you can actually there are actually two ways to edit existing files in Vim. So either you can just give it as an argument in the command line, for example, like vim new.txt, or there's also another way which we'll talk about in a second. And as you can see, I think that looks about right. I think that's what file should look like. Alright, colon Q to exit. Okay, and now let's type in Vim. Okay, so let's just type in Vim. Alright, so let's say we want to open that file that we just created called new.txt. So actually, what you can do, so you don't actually have to give that as a command line argument. You can also just do it within Vim. So we'll type colon O for open. So colon O, and then we'll type in new.txt. Alright, now we just opened that file. So yeah, you can also just do that directly within Vim. If you add like a whole bunch of different files. Alright, so yeah, okay. Alright, so let's say okay, let's get back into insert mode and let's just type in more random text. Okay, and let's say escape. Okay, so let's say okay, I don't think I wanted to type that. So I think I want to undo this now. So how do I undo changes in Vim? That's actually pretty easy. So basically, again, you have to be back in command mode. Now you gotta you have to press U. So basically U for undo, and it's just it just basically undid that. You can just type in U as many times as you want, but it's not gonna let us do it anymore because this is we're already at the oldest change. There's nothing more to undo. Now if you want to redo something, you just type Control R and just puts everything back. For example, let's say just type in even more stuff. Okay, and now we can undo this and undo that, and now again it's not already at the oldest change. This oldest change, or we can just redo everything there. And it says already newest change. Okay, but let's say I think we added way too many lines there. So I know like I could just delete all those lines, but like I think maybe I just want to discard all changes to the file, and I just want to quit right away. Okay, let's type colon Q. But then the problem with that is it says no write since the last change. Add exclamation mark to overwrite. Basically, what this is saying is that it's warning us hey, you actually haven't saved the changes to your files. Like, are you sure you really want to edit it? So basically, you do that. So you type colon Q exclamation mark to just quit without saving any changes. And now if we edit, if we view this file, you can see that looks like how it originally was. Yeah, that's basically how you just discard all changes and just quit right away. Alright, okay. So now let's take a look at a few Vim tips and tricks. So basically, what you can do to delete a line. So again, in command mode. So what you can do is you can type DD. So basically just 2 Ds in a row, and you just delete that entire line. Okay, but let's say you wanna paste that line somewhere. Okay, so what you do again in command mode is you type in a P, and now you just basically pasted that line. It's actually a pretty neat trick. So basically, you can just delete a whole line, and you can just use P to paste it somewhere else. DD, you can paste it. Okay, let's say alright. Let's also talk about navigation in Vim. So there are actually 2 ways to navigate in Vim. Number one, which is probably the most natural way in the world, is to just use the arrow keys. Up, down, right, left. Which really is the most natural way in the world. And you probably wouldn't be blamed if you use this. However, there's actually another way to navigate in Vim. Number two would actually be to use the Vim keys. So H, J, K, L. So J goes down, K goes up, L goes right, and H goes left. So you might argue now, okay, hang on a second. So what's the point of using H, J, K, L when you already have your arrow keys? Like what's the point? Well, actually, the thing is, it's actually HTKL is actually kind of it can actually be quite useful. So basically, the idea is that so your hands are probably going to be on like typing some characters. But like the idea is that so you don't have to move your fingers all the way over to the arrow keys. Okay, so you're typing something, you have to move all the way to the arrow keys, and you have to move back. Okay, at first that might just sound ridiculous, but you might actually find that could be extremely useful for you. Of course, although if you don't find that comfortable, you could still just use the arrow keys. Yeah, that's essentially how that works. Okay, so far we've seen two modes in Vim. So we've seen command mode and we've seen insert mode. So there are actually at least 3 more modes in Vim. There might even be more than this, but I don't know at least 5 modes. Alright, so now there are 3 more visual modes. So basically, so by the way, in case you're wondering, you could actually use the mouse in Vim. Like you can actually use the mouse in the terminal version of Vim. Of course, in the graphical version of Vim, by default, it's already going to be supported anyway, right? But actually, in the terminal version of Vim, you can still use a mouse in the terminal version of Vim. If you have a graphical, user interface installed. So basically, we've just highlighted that text, and it says we're in visual mode right now. So it's basically telling, okay, so you're in visual mode right now. So basically, now let's say we want okay. I think we highlight too much. Let's say we just want to highlight, maybe this portion right here. Okay, now let's say we want to cut and paste that. So let's say to cut it. So we're just to cut that text. We're just going to type in X. Okay, we've just cut all that text. And again, to paste it, you just type in P. And yeah, it automatically puts us back into command once we finish, once we're done with visual mode. Okay, so yeah, but let's say you don't have a mouse, like for example, you're just entirely using the command line, or maybe you have a mouse but you just don't want to use, you just want to use, you just want to, just take advantage of your keyboard. The other way to get into visual mode would just be to type in a lowercase b while you're in the command line. And it essentially works in the same way. And also, yeah, you can use the arrow keys as usual, or you could also just again use the same good old Vim keys, H, J, K, L. And basically, you can just highlight. It's basically kind of like a highlighting mode. You can think of it that way, so we can just cut that and paste it back. Okay, so now there's another mode called visual line mode. So basically, the way that is, so basically, it's the same thing. So you type in a V, but it actually this time it's going to be a capital V. So you're going to type in a capital V while you're in command mode. And now basically, this is almost the same thing, but basically the difference is that it's basically for highlighting entire lines. This could be useful if you have a whole bunch of lines of varying length and you just you want to cut and paste whatever. So you can cut that and you can paste it back. There you go. Okay, and then the third one is going to be visual block mode. So basically the way you do that is in command mode you're just going to press Control and V. So now in visual block mode. Again, we can use the handy Vim keys, and basically this is like kind of, you can think of it as like maybe you can best think of this as highlighting columns basically. So let's move over to this column here, and now Control V, and you can see it's actually just highlighting the columns rather than So when we just went down, it didn't highlight this text the beginning of the lines. It's just going down from columns basically, kind of like that. We can do like this, and then cut it and then paste it. Yeah, so those are basically the 5 modes, and there I'm pretty sure it's the only modes there are. But yeah, a whole 5 different modes. Alright guys, so let's talk about going to the beginning of the line. So how do you go to the beginning of the line? Essentially what you can do is so in command mode you would just type a 0 and that goes to the beginning of the line. So a $sign in command mode, again we'll just go to the end of the line. So 0 and $, 0 and $. Alright. Also, by the way, I just want to mention something. So let's say so the dd command will delete a line. Like for example, dd will delete a whole line and then p will paste it, right? But let's say you want to delete maybe 2 lines. So there are 2 ways to do this. Number 1 is to type in dd 2 times, and number 2 is actually to use a handy method, which we're going to talk about just now in a bit. Okay, so now of course you might be like, okay, hang on a second. Let me just type in dd 2 times. Well, you can do that, but that can be a problem when let's say you have 50 lines you want to delete. Now, of course, if you just do dd 50 times, that's going to take quite a long time. So actually, what you can do is you can actually type in 2dd. So 2 before typing dd. Again, all in command mode. So basically, this works for probably the majority of Vim commands. Like this works for a lot of Vim commands. Like basically, you can follow it with you can follow a command. You can type in a number before the command to repeat that many times. So for example, 20dd will just do it 20 lines. Alright, again, we can just paste it back, and we just pasted it all back basically. That was the video. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.